Well, good morning, everybody. That's my corn silk. It's the entire husk, actually. But the point of collecting the husk is the corn silk, not the husk. Throw the husk away. But, they don't charge me for it at the grocery store, so, I can't really expect them to sit there and separate the husk from the silk. I need to do that myself. But they get the corn in whole and they separate it, and they separate the corn from the husk and the silk, and they throw the husk and the silk away. So they only sell clean corn at this particular grocery store. So they're already doing the work of separating the corn from the husk and the silk. So they just set the husk and the silk aside. For me, I call them a day in advance because I know what they only get corn in Tuesdays and Saturdays. So I call them and ask them to save it for me. They save it for me and they don't charge me anything for it, which is really nice. And I go down and pick it up and I take it home and I separate the silk from the husk, and then I keep the silk and throw the husk away. And then I make silk tea with it. It's an old Amish remedy for prostate, health. And, so if you're having symptoms of prostate problems, you can try this. Now, I'm not 100% sure it's effective, but I'm 80% sure it's effective. I'm not going to say, I try not to say something that I know for sure something is effective until I try it and then experience the benefit and then stop and the symptoms come back, and then I try it again, experience the benefit, and go back and forth a couple times like that. And then if it's consistently on and off, then I'll say I'm 100% sure it's effective, because that's, in my opinion, that's the only way to eliminate the effects of your imagination or the placebo effect or confirmation bias or whatever. It's not 100%. Because the placebo effect can be very strong. All that stuff can be very strong, but it's the best effort you can make, I think, at this point in time. Also, the effects of medical remedies are not necessarily experienced in a consistent on and off type way. If you take a medical remedy and you go off of it, it might take a couple, if the improvement was dramatic, then it might take a little while for the symptoms to come back. And by the same token, if you start a medical remedy, start taking one, it might take a while for the effects to be. So, this is why I guess they call medicine an art, not, practice. You practice medicine, you don't do medicine. It's the medical arts, it's not the medical sciences. So it's a lot of judgment. Everybody thinks everything. It's basically the institutions teach us. It's brainwashing. They brainwash us into thinking that everything is so black and white, empirical, statistical, like certain. You know what I mean? I think we need to train ourselves to be more the enemies of certainty, because that's just not the way truth operates. As humans, we don't have access to truth at that level. We have our judgment, and we need to learn to exercise good judgment, but it's the exercise of judgment, not the application of judgment, kind of getting into a semantical quagmire here, but anyway, I think I know what you said. I think you know what I'm saying. Anyway, what I wanted to say was, when I did that video about the flag a few minutes ago, something that I'm kind of passionate about, to be honest with you, is I hate the idea of saying that America is the greatest country in the world, or America is the greatest country to ever exist. And I mean, I think most people would say that I'm very conservative and like extremely conservative, you know, and like a radical extremist Republican, you know, that kind of a thing. Not in a negative way, but, you know, just very like, you know, like out there, you know. But still, you know, I don't understand just logically why we have to be the greatest in order to be enthusiastic and in love with our country. You know, why can't we just be great? You know, I'm just happy with being a part of a great country, you know. And I think that politics jades us into believing that the world is a bigger mess than it actually is. And I think that there's a lot of great countries out there, you know. If you look at some of the freedom indexes that they have, these different index studies, and they're based on statistics which are not reliable, but I think there's some truth to it. You know, if you look at some of the freedom indexes, it's like America's not really very high on the freedom. There are countries that have higher freedom indexes, you know. So, you know, I think America's a great country, and I'm very excited about this country, and I'm very proud to be a part of it and to live here. And I take my duties of citizenship seriously, and defense of freedom seriously. But, you know, I'm not like, you know, I don't go around saying we're the greatest country in the world.